from the home of the three-piece combos, Pugilism Company. This is Reed, BBS. Blackbird Sugar, Bachelor's in Boxing Studies. We're going to dedicate one final podcast to the year that was, 2018. This will be Pugilism Company's 2018 End of Year Awards. If you're so inclined, if you're like me, if you're an old school boxing magazine collector and you actually like to read your pugilistic and fistic information, please visit our website and read my latest article, which is the same thing, Pugilism Company 2018 End of Year Awards. I'm sure I haven't said this on air before, so I'll do it now. The web address is pugilismco.com. We got articles, podcasts, we got special interest videos, the 5-part Earl Spence series, and we got a lot more on deck. Believe me, we making calls. Sarge is doing his thing behind the scenes, and we will have some special interest videos that y'all are going to find quite enjoyable. But anyway, let's get right into it, man. Upset of the year. That was Tony Harrison, unanimous decision, 12 rounds over Jermell Charlo. It was supposed to be a showcase, stay busy fight for Charlo. You know, him and his brother Jamal sharing a bill, heavily hyped on Fox. Harrison was credible, but everyone pointed to the TKO losses to Jarrett Hurd and Willie Nelson. What we didn't factor in was the size advantage that those two men had on Harrison. Whereas in the case of Harrison and Charlo, Harrison was the slightly taller man. He used his jab and elite level counterpunching skills to squeeze out, and I mean squeeze out, an unpopular upset decision. I still don't think Jermell lost his title. I think a draw would have sufficed, but it is what it is, and it's the 2018 upset of the year. Fight of the year, Alex Acedo versus Lenny Zapovina. I'm seeing Jarrett Hurd versus Erislandy Lara getting some love, and deservedly so. And in terms of aggregate level of talent between both fighters in the ring, I get it. Hurd and Lara are more talented than Saucedo and Zapovina. But that fight wasn't near as fun, nor as consistently violent as Alex Saucedo's toe-to-toe bloodbath with Lenny Z. That was some throwback Zell Graziano, like Gotti Ward type shit, man. Lively punching exchanges, momentum shifts, knockdowns, gore. Saucedo Zapovina, it had it all, literally. Prospect of the year, I'm going with Shakur Stevenson. Honorable mention to my man Virgil Ortiz, though, out of Dallas. It was close in my mind. So here's the deal. Teofimo Lopez won it last year. Devin Haney would seem to be a logical candidate for this year, but by his own admission, Devin Haney don't want it. He doesn't want that award. He says, I'm not a prospect, I'm a contender. I'm not a prospect, I'm a contender. So that being said, Shakur Stevenson is still a prospect. He went 5-0, 3 KOs this year, and I was impressed with the way he sat down on his punches more and he started getting rid of these people. Another year of seasoning, and by this time, 2020, I think he'll be ready for prime time to face anybody, whether it's at 30 or 26 or 35, whatever weight class he decides to settle down at. He'll be ready this time next year. Knockout of the year, Teofimo Lopez KO1 Mason Menard. Now the Dillian White, Derek Chisora 2 card, that KO, it did give me pause. I was like, wait. I was like Nate Dogg, hold up. You know, I had to wait. But then I reevaluated, rewatched both KOs, and at the end of the day, what separates them to me is Lopez essentially landed 2 damn punches. A looping right hand that forced Menard to retreat early in the round, and then another looping right which face planted his ass at the 44-second mark. Whereas in White Chisora 2, it lasted 11 rounds, and I mean, White landed a boatload of punches. It was just a more awesome spectacle of power and just face plant versus falling back uncontrollably. The face plant is always going to win out to me. Action Fighter of the Year. I'm giving that to my man, Alex Aceto. And yes, this is an award that I made up. Now, there's a couple awards in here that I make up because I'm just creative like that. So get over it. Action Fighter of the Year, Alex Aceto. So he had an underrated pocket war with Abner Morris. Not Abner Morris, but Abner Lopez, in March. Pocket war with Abner Lopez in March of this year. He follows that up with Pugilism Company's Fight of the Year versus Lenny Z. And then he ends the year with an epic slugfest for the WBO super lightweight title against Mighty Mo Maurice Hooker. Show me someone who had 3 more entertaining fights. Show me somebody who had 3 more entertaining fights than that in 2018. I don't think you can. Before we move on, hey, subscribe, like, comment, and share. Share that shit. BR 1000th subscriber. 1,000 subscribers and running. It's an official campaign. Mess around with me, we're going to have signs in people's front yards and all of that, just like a political campaign. Don't sleep. Fighter of the Year. This was the no-brainer for me. Alexander Usyk. No-brainer. He began the year as the undefeated WBO cruiserweight champion. He added up the WBC title, then the WBA and IBF. In the process, he beat 2 undefeated dudes in their backyards. He won the World Boxing Super Series Cruiserweight Tournament, the Muhammad Ali Trophy, and just as a cherry on top, he stopped Tony Bellew in defense of the 4 titles he won. Like, no-brainer, Alexander Usyk, 2018 Fighter of the Year. Period, point blank, end of story. Gotta give my condolences, man. Real talk. Condolences. There's usually a sad event every year, unfortunately, in this dangerous sport known as boxing. This year, it was Adonis Stevenson. And just being fully transparent, to me, Stevenson didn't always seem to take the most challenging path in terms of taking risks against other champions, particularly Sergey Kovalev. But that said, man, knowing this dude's quality of life is now in jeopardy, it puts into perspective just how meaningless a fighter's resume is when it's all said and done. You want that fighter, whether he's a world champion, a journeyman, or a tomato can, to come home safely, be able to do what he does with his family and loved ones. And here's how I think about it. Had Adonis Stevenson fought just one fewer time, Adonis Stevenson would be living a normal life right now instead of being laid up in a hospital bed during the holiday season. And that's truly sad. That's truly sad, man. It don't get much sadder than that. Now, we did get a good report today from his fiancée, who's saying that he is starting to talk a bit. She did say he was communicating with grunts and points and, just slow, subtle motions. So it's encouraging to hear that he's speaking somewhat, but it doesn't make what happened to him any sadder. Speaking of sad, the story of the year, HBO taking the 10 count, no longer broadcasting boxing. That still shocks the hell out of me. Man, Barry Tompkins, Jim Lampley, Harold Letterman, George Foreman, Larry Merchant, they were like extended family of mine. Almost every weekend, they're in my home on my TV entertaining me. You know what I'm saying? They were welcomed, invited guests into my home every week, and I'm going to miss them thoroughly. The absolute best prime fighting years of Mike Tyson, Roy Jones, Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather, Felix Trinidad, Lennox Lewis, Marco Antonio Barrera, Sugar Ray Leonard, Eric Morales, Pernell Whitaker, Manny Pacquiao, Thomas Hitman Hearns, Marvelous Marvin Hagner, and a litany of others. They were all televised on HBO. The very best that we saw of all those men I just named, we saw on HBO. You can't front or throw shade at that at all. Before we wrap it up, miscalculation of the year. That has to go to Eddie Hearn and to Team Joshua for lowballing Team Wilder, which leads directly into my event of the year, which was Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. Now, after that event, heavyweight boxing matters again in the United States. Thanks to Eddie Hearn, thanks to Anthony Joshua, thanks to the Bronze Bomber Deontay Wilder and the Gypsy King Tyson Fury. Team Joshua's reluctance, their lies, and the disingenuous offers that they made to Wilder is exactly what spawned Wilder Fury. Sometimes you really do reap what you sow. And there's no clearer case than the miscalculation of the year tying into the event of the year. And last but certainly not least, the farce of the year. The farce of the year. Who else could it be but Floyd Mayweather versus Tenshin Nasukawa? I almost want to call that fight a joke, but there's literally nothing the least bit funny about it, man. You're supposed to, at some level, you want to do something for the greater good of the sport that made you who you are, that put all these millions in your pockets. Not just look out for self all the damn time, man. Farce of the year, it goes without saying. Anyways, y'all, that's going to be our last word on 2018 as a whole, because we on to bigger and better now. So stay tuned to us. 1,000 subscribers and running. Love tap and bitch slap that like button. From the home of the 3-piece combos, Pugilism Company. This is your boy Reed, BBS. BBS. Blackbird Sugar, Bachelor's in Boxing Studies. When all is said and done, there's nothing left to say or do.